Hey YouTube, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to the crazy troll nation of YouTube. My name is Dion. We start here with chapstick. This video is going to be long, and I'm sure you can see the timestamp. So if you didn't see it before and you see it now, pause and get a snack. This is going to be long. I'm going to try and be as quick as I can, but we'll see. So we're doing a series of looks with some of my Natasha Denona palettes. The Lila palette, Biba, Safari, and Metropolis. The reason we're doing these is to see, is Natasha Denona bad? And not bad like Michael Jackson bad, but like bad. And I'm saying that because all of these 4 palettes have passed the 24-month lifespan. And I'm going in order of the oldest, or what expired first. And Lila expired November 2021. And so we're doing looks to see, is it bad? So I'm going to do one look on each eye, which I don't prefer. But I just want to knock these out, and I think it'll be quicker to just get through each palette. I guess, I don't know. So I have foundation, concealer, setting powder, brows, setting spray, well, a facial mist, and I have NYX retractable eyeliner in purple on my lower lash lines right now. My eyes are already primed. We're going to jump in. I have my eyeshadow brushes here. I didn't pull out which ones I'm going to use yet. I will be doing one eye with the top row, one eye with the middle row, and you'll know which is which because this has this here, and all of these are sort of in the same color family. This row is more varied. This row is all shimmer, metallic, yada, yada, yada. So I'm just going to jump in. I'm not going to say the names because the names are on this flap and I would have to go back and forth. And I want this to be as quick as possible because I appreciate your time. And this is going to be a lot of time. I don't have on cheek products because after I do these looks, I'm going to experiment with something else. And that'll be a different video. Yeah, so that's why no blush highlight or bronzer, even though it kind of looks like it's a little something. And I do have a natural shadow right here, you know, my natural contour thing here. Yeah, so this is what we got. All right, jumping in. I'm going to take Esom T37 angled brush. This is the top row. There's 2, well, there's a shimmer and looks like a metallic, and 3 mattes, and I'm not sure because I'm not checking if they're the creamy mattes or cream to powder. And so we're going to see if these shadows are performing the same over a year after it supposedly expired. I did sniff the palette. It doesn't smell like anything. It doesn't smell bad, and you can keep powder products longer, but because some of her shadows are cream to powder and creamy mattes, I wonder if those would be the ones that would turn. And so we're experimenting here to see. Take an Hourglass number 3, and we're going to go into the second shade in the top row. This is picking up a little different. It's picking up a little dry, but again, I don't know what formula this is because I'm not taking the time to check, but I am noticing, and I do want to check, but we're just trying to get through this. Really pretty though. I don't really think these two go together, so I'm going to blend them and make it look like they go together. And I think because the first one, I don't know, it's more earthy. It came off more orange-ish on me than I thought it was. In the pan it looks more bronze, but then because I have a warm undertone, it might have just, you know, made it show up different. I'm going back with that brush, and we're going to take some more of that and just put a little bit like right here. And I meant to just do right here, but then I went all the way over, and now that I put that second shade there, it's just overtaking it. Like, this is not, yeah, there's a little bit of brightness there. Okay. We're going to flip this brush over, the one we used for the second shade, and we're going to go into that center shade, which is a matte And we're going to put that here. Scott Barnes number 63 brush, and we're going to go into the corner shade, and we're going to put that. Ooh, that created a lot of fallout, and I'm tapping it and the cloth has a lot of fallout on it. I don't remember that from before, or maybe I just put too much damn shadow on the brush. I just realized I didn't do my intro because I cursed, and I did not say sometimes curse on this channel. I'm not liking how that's looking dusty. This is the brush we use for powder. That is not. Okay, well, that's what we got. So, I'm going to go back with the center shade. I'm sorry, the third shade. Because I don't like how dark this got, even though I'm the one that did it. We're going to flip back to the second lid shade. Because I want this to be a little bit lighter. And this is an earthy palette. It really is. And I think I'm just trying to do too much. And I'm trying to be too quick. And I'm just slapping stuff on. And that's why I'm not really liking it. Even though I love these shades. The first shade in the top row and use that as a transition. I am thinking these are a little different than before. The way the formula is. No itchiness of my sensitive eyes or anything, so that's good. But we'll see as I wear it and when I wash it off how my lids are feeling and or looking. The Esum V31, and we're going to take that center shade and we're going to put that on our lower lash line. This is the brush that had that red on it. We're just going to sweep that right here in this area. And I'm being a little rough with it to get the shadow off the brush versus any non-troll person would just put more shadow on the brush. And you see how it did add shade even without adding shade. Going to take the clean brush again and just buff that. We're going into the second row. We're going to take whatever this shade is, that goldish one. And we're just going to put that right there. I'm not tapping off. That is not really showing up over that. And we're going to put a little bit right here. Okay, well, it showed up down there. And I have a bump right here, too, that makes things look bright in that one spot right there. You see that? I know you do. So it's not that I put more shadow there. It's just the bump. Makes the light reflect off of it in a way that looks like it's more shadow there. This eye is starting to tear. We're going to take, I'm going to stick to the same types of brushes. I wasn't going to take a Fenty brush, but we're going to take an Hourglass number 3. This is going to be monochromatic as well. This is the shade. And that is going to go next to this one. We're going to flip the brush over and go into the purple that's in this row. I'm trying to remember, it's been a while since I used this palette, but I don't know, I think I might have to go back and look at my videos. I do have a playlist for each of these palettes, and I have just an overall Natasha Denona playlist. And so if you want to just run them all, you can run them all. Or if you want to just run the playlist for a particular palette, you can look up the Lila palette. But I am going to go back and look at those videos to see what my thoughts were using that. This eye is starting to tear. So I'm blending in between. Oh man. This eye is starting to tear down. And this eye is starting to itch. Shit. And I'm not even mad, because when this palette was on sale for $80, I purchased one. And then after that, it went on sale for like $77.40. And I'm like, why are they playing with my emotions? And so I do have a backup of this one. And so if it's bad, it's bad. And that's okay, because things do not last forever. And the way my skin sensitivities are, I'm not going to make it work if it's not, because it's just not worth it. This eye is really starting to itch. We're going to take that same brush we used, a clean one though, that we used over here, And this is the Scott Barnes number 63. And we're going into the darkest shade, which is the first shade in that row. We're tapping that off, and that's going to go right here. This eye is really itching, and this eye is tearing. Okay, yeah, Lila, I'm gonna have to replace you with your twin. This, it feels like my eyeball is swelling up. It really does. And sometimes that does happen, especially when I use pressed pigments, which these are not. My eyeball swells up, and that I could feel it swelling up. So let's just hurry up with this. I know, and some of you are like, girl, just stop it in the video. But y'all know when I commit, I commit. And we're going to take that fuchsia shade, and we're going to run that under here. So you can see that the shades are different. This is wet right here in the front part. Scott Barnes number 62, and this is the last shade in this second row. And we're going to put this as transition. If you have Lila, let me know what you think about it. You created a patch right there. Remember a while ago I was having an issue with a patch right here? What brush did I use for that? It appears I still have that same issue. And it's something with my skin. It is something with my skin. And so I need to just tap the shadow on it and just leave it. And when I look close in the mirror at my bare skin, I can see, you know, what the issue is. And so I need to just leave it and not blend over it, because otherwise it's going to look like a patch. This eye, and look at that. I tapped it because it's wet. I know. Some of y'all screaming, girl, just stop. The shade we use for transition with the same brush, and this isn't going to make any sense because it's wet. So why are you buffing out wet runny shadow? Because I'm a troll and I just be doing shit. I'm not even going to do liner. I'm not going to do mascara because look at this. This is all moisture from my tears. And so I'm going to just stop now. And the experiment that I was going to do with other products, I'm not going to do. I'm going to stop right here, right now. No lip, no mascara, no liner. And go wash this off. And so we know Lila is bad. And not the good bad, the bad bad. But it's okay, I have a backup. And so, yeah, this expired November 2021. This is September 2022. And my eyes, okay, I'm going. You'll see me in the next installment of this long ass video. And yeah, another experiment, but we always start with chapstick 99.9998% of the time. Today we're using our Biba palette. This is what the front looks like. This says it expires May 2022. This is October 2022. This is what the inside looks like. We're going to do a look with the top row, and we're going to do a look with the bottom row. And the reason I really want to use the bottom row is that these two are the cream to powder creamy matte formulas. And so I really want to see if those are still performing well. Up top we have shimmers, and also I believe these are just the creamy mattes. And if you look at it, you can kind of tell, okay, these are creamy mattes. They look like regular mattes. These are cream to powder. They look more creamy. And so that's the difference if you just go by how they look. We're going to start with the bottom row first, and I will call out the shades. We're going to take Tour, and we're using a dense packer brush because these are creamy mattes, and I feel it crumbling. I just felt some crumbles down on my face, like down here. I only have one concealer. You may have noticed I don't have one full face paint because I'm going to wash this off. I'm going to do a self-care day. I'm going back in a tour. I slept well. I know I just jumped around, because it was medication induced. I had a migraine yesterday. The sumatriptan, my migraine med, knocks me out. And so even though I still woke up like every 2 to 3 hours, I went right back to sleep and slept like a rock. And so I woke up today actually feeling kind of well rested. And so I'm going to cut my hair. I'm going back into Tour. I think this shade would be a great base because it is creamy. And I don't prefer me in cool tones, but this is more kind of neutral to me, to my eye. But I do like this shade. So we're going to see what it does. We're actually going to flip it over. Do I want to take that further out? We're going to go in the spot, which is black. And that's why I'm wondering if I want to take Tour further out. And you see how this is. I love her creamy matte and cream to powder formulas. And I'm also going to do a face mask today. From here, this area is still just really dry. It's really cracked. And because the medication knocked me out yesterday, I didn't even wash my face. And one of the wake-ups that I had, I did stumble into the bathroom and brush my teeth. I'm going back and forth in between the blend. But yeah, that med just really knocks me out. And then even though I keep waking up, I'm like so loopy. Like I can't even walk straight. Like it is just crazy. I'm going back to the side that had Tour and I'm pulling it this way. I don't think I've ever used these two on my lid before. I've used them for like outer corner. So this is really like a serious experiment. We're going back into Tour and we're just gonna lightly sweep right here. So this, I like this. I'm going back to the side that had Spot and we're going to just lightly feather that up here. And so I'm going to do a lot of self-care today, and later today I'm going to come back and do, I think we have Safari after this one. That expired after Biba. So again, as a reminder, we're going in order of when they expired. I am digging it. What do y'all think? Spot is also really good for eyeliner for your upper lash line. So we're just lightly just buffing. So if you wanted to, this could be your look. Just put on liner if you want to. Put something on your lower lash line. I meant to put a brown on my lower lash line. But I think I want to do black for this eye just because the top is so dark. And this is a black NYX retractable eyeliner. We're going to put that under here. Even though I do think I'm going to put a brown shadow under here from in this row. We're going to go ahead and put a brown on the other eye. Both of my eyes were already primed too, by the way. We're going to go into Sculpt, which is that center shade at the bottom, and it's a gray. And we're going to put that in our transition area. I believe I did a look, I didn't tap off this time, that I did this row as a collab with Hooded Marina. And one eye I did a brown and one eye I did the black. And I do think I used this row for that. If I can find that picture, which I probably can't because after I post stuff, I clear out my phone. I will link that video below. That's what I'll do. I'm not liking how that turned this part right here ashy. So we're going to go back with the brush. Actually, we're going to, I didn't even say what the brushes were, so why start now? We're tapping into Spot and we're swiping a little bit because it's really not going to pick up with a fluffy brush. Ooh, and when it does, it's going to look patchy. So you do need a dense brush if you're going to use Spot. Yeah, that's the black one. We're going to go back to the brush that we used for that shade, not adding any more on there, but we're just going along this line just to keep that blend. I like that better. And we're going to just feather inward. So we're kind of creating a line right here, even though it already was one, but we're just blending it out just a tad bit. So if you want like a dark gray black smoky eye, here you go. This is for you. Taking the brush that had Sculpture. I was going to say Sculpt. It's called Sculpture. That middle gray shade. I did not add any extra shadow. Still have 2 shades left in this row to use, but I really like this the way it is. We're going to take this brush. I'm not even going to start now because I didn't tell you what the other ones were. This is Tusk, and we're going to put this right here as our brow arch highlight. And then we're going back to the brush we used with Sculpture and just going in small circular motions to blend that. We're going to take the same brush, we're going to wipe it off, and we're going to go into Seed, which is a dark brown, the last color to use in this row. I'm going to take the brush we used for our transition shade, adding no additional color, or maybe I should. And we're going to tap into Sculpture, and we're going to tap off the brush. So for this eye, this on the first half of the lid, this the second half of the lid, and this we use as transition, this is brow bone highlight, and this underneath our lower lash line. That's this. For this eye, we're going to use the top row, this row right here. I'm thinking inner corner, center lid, outer lid, and these two in the transition. I'll call out the names because that is subject to change. So we're going to take Shine, and that's just going to go right here. Ooh, these are going to be so different, these looks, right? So we got a matte dark look, and then we're going to have like a brown shimmery. Ooh, something flaked in my eye and this eye. Okay, that's uncomfortable. We're going to go into Rustic on the opposite end of that row, and we're going to tap that here, and we're just going to sweep this here just to have some of Rustic right here. This also can just be your look. Just blend this up top right here like that. Put on liner and mascara, and you're done. I mean, this palette is so easy. We're going to flip this over to the clean side and go into Cocoa, which is that center shade in the top row. And we're just going to sweep this just right here. And look at how well that blends. I did purchase a backup of this. It was a bundle with this and I believe Circle Loco. And for the price of the bundle, it bought each of these $129 palettes down to like, I think 80 bucks a piece. And so yeah, I do have a backup of this. And so if this one is bad, it is okay. This, I'm loving this. We're also going to take Cocoa on a different brush, and we're going to put that under here. We're going to go into Prairie, which is like a mustard, and we're going to put that as our transition. I think this may or may not mess up the look. I kind of think it might, but because of how well everything in here blends together, I think it's going to be okay. And it is okay. We're tapping in again, tapping off, and we're going to buff under here. We're going to wipe this brush off, and we're going to go in a freckle just because. And we're only going to put that right here. This is a warmer tone than the mustard that we just used. And so we're just going to put that just out here. And we're not even going to do a brow bone highlight. So that's all we're going to do. That is it. So what did we do? We did first, inner portion of the lid, outer portion of the lid, outer corner, transition, outer transition, and also this underneath and buffed out with this. Easy peasy. I want to do liner, but I kind of don't because I'm washing this off, and so I'm not going to do liner. I'm not going to do mascara. I had a black one out, but no, so we're going to put that away. And this is it. This is it with Biba, the bottom row. This is the top row. So stay tuned for the next palette. Same day as Biba. Told you I was gonna cut my hair. Starting with chapstick. I feel like a new troll. Safari palette. This is what we're using this time. This expired August 2022. This is October 2022. And this is what this looks like. This palette had mixed reviews, and this was before her cream to powder and creamy matte formula. Saw it on her website, 50% off. I purchased it and I was glad that I did. It has a funky smell to it, like a factory type smell that none of her other palettes have, but it performed well. I can do without these 3 shades here. You know, this is where I live. You know, the warm tone, especially these right here in this blue. And so we're going to do a look with this row and this row because Biba, we did a black gray look, and so this would just be a blue gray look, even though this is like a grayish, what is that? Greenish gray or grayish green. So we're not going to do this row, but I do love this. Again, I have a playlist with every Natasha Denona palette, and so I do have multiple looks with this palette going by rows and I think columns or something. So I may be duplicating what I'm going to do, but let me just get into it because, yeah. Eyes are primed. Underneath, we're going to put Snatched NYX Retractable Eyeliner. We're going to take, this is the bottom row, we're going to take Lotus, that light pink, and I guess we're going to put this row on this eye. This is why I don't like these types of shades. It just shows up as dust. We're going to flip the brush over and go into Amhara, this shade, which is next to Lotus, and we're going to put that. This is an all matte palette, by the way, if you didn't notice. I do not believe this is available anymore. I'm pretty sure it's not. Every now and then I think to get rid of it, but then when I look at it, particularly the warm tone rose and that blue, I decide to keep it. So whenever this goes bad, I don't think I'll miss it, but it's just kind of like when I look at it, then I'm like, ooh, I want to keep it, even though I haven't used it in quite some time, which I know you can relate to if you have more than 10 palettes. Like, stuff just doesn't get used, even though you really like it. We're going to take a clean brush and go into Misc. That's the center shade on the bottom row, and we're going to put this right here and right here. I will say these feel a little drier, and I am having to build up more than I remember having to do before. We're going to flip the brush over and go into Voodoo, which is a brown, and we're going to put that just inside of where Misc is and connect it to the center shade. We're going to go back to the brush that had the center shade on it, and we are just going to lightly buff back and forth, not adding any additional shadow on the brush. I will say with Biba, my eyes did tingle for the first couple hours. I intentionally left it on, and after a couple hours my eyes felt fine. When I washed it off, you know, my lids didn't look any different. And so I'm going to hold on to it for a little while longer, but if I don't use it in the next few months, I'll just ditch it because I do think it's on its way out. But yeah, we're going to take Misc, that center shade, not the center shade, this red shade, but it's the center shade on the bottom row, and we're going to run this on our lower lash line. We're going to take Tamarind, the corner shade on the bottom row, and we're going to use that as a transition shade. This is a light shade on me, great for blending out, great for buffing out, great for if I had a brown here in the outer corner, this would turn it a little grungy. This is this shade right here. And so on its own, it doesn't do much. Does it? I mean, no, it doesn't do much. But I did use this a lot to like blend out and buff out, especially back when I was doing transition first and my crease shades first. But you see how that just erased everything you saw there. So I'm going to go back to that center shade, and we're going to put some more there, and we're going to take it high up again where it was. I'm just going to edit out reapplying all the shades and taking them higher up into this area right here. We're going to take Tamarind on that same transition brush, and we're going to just run that under here. This eye is done except for liner and lashes. So what we did, this on the center lid, this on the inner and outer corner, this on the inside of the inner and outer corner, connecting it to this one. This is transition. We went back and reapplied these and took them higher up because this erased them from in the transition area. This is on the tear duct area, which as you can tell is not there. we're going to move on to this row. We're going to take Tribe on the first half of the lid. We're going to flip the brush over and go into Shea. That's going to go on the remaining lid. We're using the tip of the brush, which apparently still has some of this shade on it. You can tell by the coloring, and blending this area right here, and we're going to sweep in between, and we're going to actually go back to the first side and put a little bit more of Tribe just so we can feather that over, and I'm just going very lightly. We're going to take Desert Date, and we're going to use this as our transition shade. I'm going to go back, excuse me, and reapply the first two shades. We're going to take Aya, which is a very pastel-y shade, and we're just going to put a little bit right here. And we're going to go back to our blending brush and just do small circular motions. We're going to take Thorn, this shade here, and we're going to run that on our lower lash line. We're going to take our transition brush, I know I said that funny, without any additional shadow, and just buff that. For this eye, this row, first half the lid, second half the lid, transition shade, brow arch highlight, lower lash line, and we did not use this one. So we're going to take that with that same transition brush. No, we're going to take a different transition brush, and we're going to apply this right here, just on the outer half of our transition area. And this is lighter than Shea. So that's what we have. We're going to do liner, mascara, come back and do a lip. We're not going to do mascara. I put on the KVD tattoo liner and my eyes are burning. I haven't even had this that long. This is going in my makeup trash, and it's already bleeding the liner because my eyes started tearing that quick. Between finishing this eye to this one, both are burning and this one is tearing. So we're not going to do mascara. We're going to come back on another day and get into Metropolis. I'm not yet sure how we're going to do this because Metropolis has 28 shades in it. I did remove one. It was a Chroma Crystal. Hate that formula. But we'll see what we're going to do with this, and so stay tuned. Chapstick. I only have one concealer, just a tad bit, only right here, none over here, and some in this area. That's it. And I realized I haven't been doing a lot in these videos, and I think because I'm just trying to get them done, I guess. I don't know. For right now, we're going to put NYX Retractable Eyeliner blue under this eye, actually deep blue, and we're putting olive green under this eye. Actually, this says golden olive. We're going to be using the Metropolis palette. I do not anticipate any issues with this because this expired September 2022. This is October 2022. And this is what it looks like. I have looked at it, figured out what I'm going to do. I'm going to do either spotlight looks or halo looks or something. Yeah, I haven't used it in a while, and I really do like this palette. Let's just jump in. So we're going to take Orium. We're going to put this on the center of the lid. This is very much a non-shade on me, and I'm using a dense brush because it's kind of flaky. It's a DC formula, which I think, I don't know if it's, I don't want to even say it's a dual chrome, but I think it is. But to me it functions almost like a Chroma Crystal, which is the formula I hate because it's chunky and I feel it falling out on my face. I probably should have used a sponge tip applicator to apply it, but because it blends in with my skin tone, you won't see it on my face. Yay me. For this eye, we're going to take Aqueous, and that's going to go on the center of the lid. This formula is a metallic, it says, but it is so creamy. We're going to take Lethal, which is a cream to powder, and we're going to put this here. I think I need a dense brush with this because it is a cream to powder. So yeah, I'm going to switch brushes. I'm just going to blend a little bit right here at the top. We're going to turn the brush over and go into Troop, which is also a cream to powder. And we're going to put that just inside to bridge the center shade with the outer and inner corner shade. And we're going to lightly blend this right here. We're going to slightly bridge it, which I don't always really like the look when I do that. Yeah, I don't like that. We're going back with the brush that had that center shade, and we're going to reapply that right here. I don't know what it is about that look that I don't like on me. Maybe it's my eye shape, I don't know. So we're gonna go back with this brush and just buff the edge, like right in between where they meet. We're going to take Royal, which is a cream to powder, and we're going to put that on. I don't remember these being this crumbly. Inner and outer corner. I'm gonna lightly just blend using the tip of the brush. We're gonna turn the brush over and go into Enigma and put that just inside the inner and outer corner. So right here. So you see the green and then the blue going into the center blue. And we're gonna lightly blend right here, and that's it. We're gonna take Lethal, and that's gonna go under here. We're gonna take Aqueous, and we're gonna put that here in the center. We're gonna take a clean one and go into Enigma and put that out here. I'm gonna take a Q-tip because that really got away from me, and try to clean this up right here. We're going to take Rope as our transition shade, and we're also going to use that just to buff under here. I'm going to do some more blending up here. I'm not really liking how this looks, but I don't want to add any more color up here. We're going to go into this shade to use as blending for this side. Don't know what it is because it's not original to this palette. I'm also going to take some here just to blend this edge, and we're also going to use that to buff under here, which I don't know if it needs it because it's so blown out. I'm going to go back with a brush that had aqueous in it, and we're just going to just put some more right here. Just bring that up a little bit higher. I like that better. The blending brush. We're going to do eyeliner, mascara, come back and figure out a lip for once, right? Yeah. Now I bought some chapstick because it's sitting right here and it is so simple and it goes with everything. This is the Juvia's Place Bronzed Toast Liquid Lipstick. Perfect nude for me. I did go ahead and put on the MAC NC 44.5 all over because I wanted to try, this has been in my basket of stuff to use. This is the M Cosmetics Heaven's Glow Radiant Veil Blush in Persimmon. And so I'm thinking this will be more of a blush light for me. So this orange you see, that is this, and I do like it better as a blush light. So now I can put that away. And also I wanted to try, for the first time, that has been sitting here for a couple weeks now, medium powder bronzer from Danessa Myricks, and that is what this looks like. And I do think it's a good shade for me. They're not there, so that's what you see here. I do think it's a little, I don't know, orangey, but it may just be because it's underneath this. But this is here and along here and also up here. And so I do like the color, I just need to play with it more. This is my first time using that. For upper lash line, MAC's Paint Pot and Black Mirror, and for mascara, we use Scott Barnes Pumped Up. And I like this so much, I purchased 2 more. They're still 50% off, and so 2 for the price of 1. They're $28 a piece, but on sale, I got 2 for $28. So that is it. And so as you can tell, for this eye, we use some shades from over here. This eye, we use these shades, and I think maybe this one too. So the green you see over here, I believe is this one, and the darker one is this, and this is in the center. and we used this shade as a transition for this eye, and this shade as a transition for this eye. And so that is it for this experiment. Let me know what you think, and you will see me in another video.